everybody. I'm Noelle.
And I'm Jenna.
And this is More Than Murder, where we delve into everything eerie with a side of true crime.
More Than Murder is not your typical true crime podcast. Join us on a weekly tour through the haunted, the bloody, the creepy, and the nutty on our Freaky Fridays.
Hello, my dear friend.
Hi.
It's gonna be another haunted, spooky episode today.
Oh, perfect. I'm ready for it.
You know, even though we moved our episodes around, it still seems like it stayed in this
true
crime,
haunted.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but it seems to be a thing. So
It does. We try to break it up, but
it doesn't work out so well. But anyways, so I love architecture.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, you love it too. That spans everything from buildings to bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be fun to do a haunted montage like I did with Haunted Rochester, except this time, instead of a city, it's going to be haunted bridges throughout the United States.
Cool.
See. So, the list I'm doing is in no particular order, from like least haunted to most haunted or anything. I just literally compiled a list, and I'm going to kick it off with the bridge I was originally going to do the whole episode on before I changed my mind to doing just like a bunch of bridges. And that is Poinsett Bridge in South Carolina. Poinsett Bridge is located in Greenville County in Landrum, South Carolina, which from what I can tell from Google Maps, it's not like too far away from the border, but when I say that, it's still probably like several hours from North Carolina. So it has an address of 580 Callahan Mountain Road, and it's built over a shallow stream called Little Gap Creek. Super cute. I love the name. I don't know, it's just adorable. So the bridge was named after a U.S. ambassador to Mexico, who in turn was a pretty prominent person in Greenville at the time. His name was Joel Poinsett.
Okay.
Joel was a lot of other things involving government positions, but the coolest thing that I think he did, which I told you about the other day, I just couldn't hold it, was that he was the co-founder of the National Institute for the Promotion of Science and the Useful Arts. This was the predecessor to the Smithsonian Institution that we have today.
So cool.
I love it. The bridge was built in 1820. It's said that the bridge is the oldest surviving bridge in South Carolina and possibly the South in general.
Oh, cool.
But I would have to do more research on the whole, possibly the South in general. I'll put an emphasis on possibly.
Because that's a pretty big area.
But who knows? Yeah. I mean, it could be. And it was just like this tiny creek, whereas there are like actual rivers down south that they would have needed to build bridges on a long time ago. So I don't know.
But who knows? Maybe, structurally sound bridges needed new infrastructure to make them more drivable and passable.
True. The thing that it says, it is the oldest surviving bridge. So there might have been ones built before that, but they just aren't the same ones that were when they were first built.
That means, I think that could be a possibility.
All right, I had to talk that out.
Hey, sometimes you gotta do that.
I know, even though I typed it out in my notes. Oh gosh. Anyway, it's amazing how incredibly well this bridge has held up through the years. If you see the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's located among 120 acres on the Poinsett Bridge Heritage Preserve, and the Greenville County Rec maintains it.
Neat.
To quote the Greenville County Rec website, the bridge was part of the state road that connected Charleston and Columbia with the North Carolina mountain communities into Tennessee. It's a 14-foot Goliath. Sorry. It's a 14-foot Gothic arch stone structure, which is absolutely beautiful. The arch is just gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And it stretches 130 feet over Little Gap Creek. Historians believed that this was designed by Robert Mills, who was the architect of the Washington Monument.
Cool. I mean, you can kind of see
a little commonality.
Inspiration, maybe.
The road has since become a walking trail, since obviously at the time all the roads weren't paved and they were kind of through the woods and all this stuff. So there's just a walking trail now that I would love
place to walk.
Yeah, I would love to hike on it.
Heck yeah.
Find some cool stones that might have been there from a long time ago. So now we're going to get into the lore and the haunted tales. I wanted to just give a little bit of background on the bridge. Most of the ghost stories and lore I found was from only 2 different sources. The first being a blog called Travelers Rest Here, which is a really cool blog if anybody wants to check it out. The first article I'll be referencing was titled, Do You Believe These Haunted Tales About Poinsett Bridge by Celeste Hawkins? The first article mentions the legend that the bridge was built on ancient Cherokee burial grounds because the Cherokee people first pretty much owned the mountain ranges and areas of North and South Carolina as well as Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
At first it was discredited because according to traditional Cherokee burials, usually people were buried indoors and near the home. However, interestingly enough, if a Cherokee person was buried outside, and it mentioned especially if they were buried between a rock already outside, they would build an arch to cover it, whether it be wood or stone.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a roof for the burial that was down below. Because if you think about it, they wanted their people to be buried inside. So if for some reason they had to be buried outdoors, maybe it was really far away.
An inside type
Right.
of
They still gave them a roof to cover them from storms. So that's pretty interesting. So that's why some people were like, it still could possibly be because whatever. Anyway. The second piece of legend is that during construction, several men either fell ill from malaria and the like and died, or perished in a flash flood that actually delayed the construction of the bridge.
Oh, dang.
So this was just like a little gap creek, but somehow there was like this giant flood that which I know in like our woods behind my parents' house, if after winter, if it's been a good actual winter, in the spring when the snow melts, our ravines are filled like 5 feet deep with water. It moves the land, it moves the rocks. I mean,
yep.
So even little streams that are never usually running can be like really powerful
and
sometimes.
any blockage that falls into that body of water can create a stoppage to where you're getting that big pool of water building up.
Or it makes it go in different directions and then makes the land change. It's really, I just love water. It's so cool. Locals say that those men that perished while building the bridge were built inside the bridge itself.
Whoa.
Or were buried beneath it. There is no record of this being true. However, I will tell, now this isn't one I added into the story today, but I'm just going to do a little side note. There's this bridge in Rochester that you can go underneath, and the legend said that while the bridge was being built, apparently this construction worker was like peeing over the side where they were working and fell.
Oh, God.
Or something happened like that, and there was another rumor of something else happening where he either was trapped inside the bridge or his spirit just haunted it because he fell there while he was peeing. Huh. But yeah, a little tidbit about Rochester.
All right.
Still though, even if those men weren't buried beneath or inside the bridge, if they died during the building process, especially at the site, it would stand to reason that their souls may remain there anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Like if they just died on the building site, then they may be stuck there.
Yeah, so. And depending on what it's made out of, you know.
Yeah, they
suck it up.
Exactly. It's not necessarily that they died or were packed into it or were buried underneath it. It could just be that they died while it was happening. The last piece of lore the blog mentions was haunting by slaves or a slave. There were various rumors of this. Many include different ways that a slave was killed at the bridge. I'm not really going to go into it. But others speculate that some slaves helped construct the bridge with, of course, no recognition and possibly also perished along the way, which brings about those types of hauntings as well.
Makes sense with,
right,
where it's located.
Because it's rumor, there's not like a whole lot of evidence to corroborate that they helped at that time, but being that it was in the South in that time period.
Very well could have been.
Right. So, on the same blog site, Travelers Rest Here, Celeste Hawkins wrote another article about that bridge called The Unexplainable Happenings of Poinsett at Night. She notes that people mostly see lights and hear screams. Hawkins was able to gather some quotes from locals on their experiences at the Poinsett Bridge at night, and I'm going to quote those now.
Okay.
These are literal quotes that she got from people, around the community. Several locals say they have been unable to start their cars when they get ready to leave.
Ooh, I don't like like that.
Yeah,
They don't want you to go.
No. They're like, if I'm trapped here, you're trapped here too,
You're
bitch.
Yeah, you're staying.
A light is said to move toward them while they sit in their cars, stuck, and they hear a loud scream when the light gets closer. So I'm guessing like orbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Ooh,
My. Yeah.
Gives me like chills. Maybe we don't want to go hiking.
I'm already kind of cold, but
I know.
I still got chills.
You know what? When we go hike there, we're just gonna have to park like 3 miles away. Just walk the 3 miles there. Yeah, and then hopefully it's far enough.
Hopefully.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Something might grab onto you.
One local said, I have heard voices coming from the area of the arch, screams around the top of the bridge, and I have seen red, white, and green lighted dots floating on the mountainside, similar to a lantern. Now let me tell you, this is like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's no light pollution around here. Except for like headlights, but that's not the colors that you're seeing.
Yeah.
No.
No.
About 4 years ago, says another person, this one's a little bit longer, I drove my neighbor, her boyfriend at the time, and one of her close friends up there, parked across the road. As soon as I shut off the engine and rolled down the windows, we could hear movement around us. Which, you're in the woods, so who knows?
Yeah.
But still, my hand resting on the door when I felt a man's rough hand and fingers grab onto mine.
Ooh.
I've been up there several times throughout the years, but it never fails at night to see, feel, or hear something that would leave me most paralyzed, including myself.
Wow, that's terrifying.
And God forbid her car doesn't start when she goes to leave.
You're in the middle of freaking nowhere.
And then you feel this man grabbing you. Dude, I've got just goosebumps up and down my body. Full body chills.
Just being in the woods by yourself at night is already heightening. Like
Right.
You're heightened anyway with all your senses. And
Exactly.
then, to know that it's haunted, even creepier.
Yeah. A ghost hunting team once visited and experienced tons of light phenomena, red and white lights. They took like a shit ton of photos, and apparently at least 100 of them included some sort of light stuff going on.
Huh. Sweet.
I think they mentioned that they did like 400 photos. The team noted how there's no towers, street lamps, or even houses nearby to create the light pollution, like I said. They also reported high EMF activity at the bridge as well.
Mm-hmm.
Only in Your State, which is one of my other favorite resources to use, was the second one I found some info on, but not much different than what I found in Traveler's Rest here. Only in Your State mentions people capturing many orbs in their pictures, the inability to start their cars upon leaving, feeling the touch of someone unseen, and seeing figures moving about them in the dark.
It sounds kind of like, ghosts use energy to call out or to do things. Like
they're using the energy from
battery.
the car.
Yeah, they're like draining that car battery like
Yeah.
they would do with a video camera or a digital recorder.
Mm-hmm.
That is so neat.
And the fact that they see figures moving about in the dark, and you got to think the Indian people, they would travel about at any point in time, like during the day, during the night, they would be hunting. Like, so if it was their spirits maybe traveling from, community to community, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So that one turned out to be more interesting than I had anticipated, and it sounds super spooky, and I would like to go.
Heck yeah.
And take some photos. The next bridge I'm going to take you all across is the Old Anton Bridge in Denton, Texas, also known as the Goat Man's Bridge, which Jenna suggested this one for me. The bridge was built back in 1882, which is 12 years before my house was built. Sorry,
so
8
rickety.
years before my house was built. I don't know why I said 12. 8 years before my house was built. It has several of its own legends attached to it, and it's now only used as a footbridge, and you'll see why if you see the pics. Because it's like literally just covered with wood planks.
I don't think I want to even walk across.
I know.
I have a bridge issue anyway. Like, usually they're really big bridges, but over like big bodies of water. So this just looks rickety as hell.
The first of the legends, allegedly, of course, back in 1938, there was a very successful African-American goat farmer. He was once crossing the bridge when the sack of shit KKK showed up. and hanged him from the bridge.
Oh, come on, losers.
Yep. Fucking just doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just pissed off that he was successful, and they're probably not, because they're sacks of shit that just sit on their sacks of shit couches and their sacks of shit asses all day.
And a free fucking man. Like, he's free, let him be free.
Exactly.
Let him do whatever the fuck he wants to do,
Right.
assholes. Ugh.
So, I note them in here as the SOSKKK, which is the sack of shit KKK. So, the SOSKKK Night Riders went to view their handiwork from below the bridge to make sure that he was really deceased, only to find his body missing.
Oh.
According to one of my sources, the SOSKKK ran to the goat farmer's home and burned it to the ground, apparently with his family inside.
Fucking assholes. All of y'all.
Yeah, seriously.
Assholes.
If you're part of the SOSKKK, just don't even listen to our show. We don't want your listen. Sorry.
No.
I don't even care. Not sorry.
No, educate yourselves because you're fucking barbaric and I hate you.
You make me want to throw up all over your
fucking
face.
hate you.
Okay, so hopefully they're getting their revenge in the spirit realm, because the big part of the Goatman, obviously the Goatman Bridge ghost story has to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
The ghost story is that the man that was hanged haunts the bridge, and rightfully so, to this very day. Hopefully he's been able to find some of the descendants of those Klan clowns and haunt the shit out of them.
Heck yeah, man.
The story also goes that if you knock 3 times on the trusses of the bridge, it will bring about the Goatman. Interessante.
Yeah.
Some legends say that it's the wife of the Goatman that haunts the bridge looking for her husband and children.
Aw.
Mm-hmm. Through the years, there have been claims that people have disappeared there while visiting at night, and they attribute that to the ghost of the Goatman. Maybe, hopefully, the people that have disappeared were the descendants of the SOSKKK.
Yeah, or are just garbage.
Sacks of shit people anyway. Yeah. Others claim there is literally the spirit of the Goatman, like half man, half goat, that possesses the bridge, which I think is a little bit insulting, because, like, he wasn't a goat man. He literally just was a farmer of goats, and now you're going to say that he became a half goat. Like,
it's like an on the nose type of thing. Like, Goatsman's Bridge, so he's
a half man, half goat. Yeah, no, he's not. Odd sounds can be heard, including but not limited to, quote, demonic growls, which those words themselves just make me get
those
goosebumps.
Are the worst. Like, yeah, those are the worst.
Of course, disembodied voices, which are usually heard at a lot of these haunted places, and other strange noises. Glowing red eyes have been seen, as well as random lights and apparitions. Clearly, whatever haunts this place, they seem to paint it like it's very demonic and dark and angry, which I would believe that it would be angry and dark, but I don't want to picture that poor man as becoming like a demon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He might just haunt it as a ghost. Maybe, I don't know. I don't like that. But that's it for that one. That one was a little short, but that's the spookiness for that one. I'd like to try to knock on the bridge 3 times.
Heck yeah.
Just like we used to say, Bloody Mary in the mirror 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I still do it, but I'm terrified actually to do it at the same time, even though I know nothing's going to happen.
Like Beetlejuice.
Not for me, but yeah, I get it.
Well, you just say his name 3 times.
Yep.
And it shows up.
For the next bridge, we're going across the country to the great state of California.
Woohoo.
To chat a little bit about the Bay Bridge. Now, let's not confuse the Bay Bridge with the Golden Gate Bridge, which happens often. My info comes from a website called sfghosts.com. I'm guessing for San Francisco Ghosts.
Yep.
Construction on the Bay Bridge began in 1933 and completed just 3 years later in 1936. I think that's like a really short time frame for the size of the project and the time period that it was being done in.
Yeah.
But the idea of the construction started all the way back in 1870 when they needed a way to get from San Francisco to Oakland during the gold rush. At that time, the gold was being transported by boat, and the thought of building a bridge at the time was quite daunting. Like I said, because of the size, it would be needed to like bridge the gap from Oakland to San Fran or vice versa. During construction, there were, of course, accidents that happened. Over the 3 years of build time, 24 workers were killed in construction-related incidents. They did not get into detail with that. So who knows? Maybe like one of those crazy wires that they have came and like sliced someone's head off or something. Yeah. Like there could have been some crazy shit.
For real.
I would like to know. Because I'm morbid sometimes. In the 1960s at some point, an aircraft belonging to the Navy crashed into the bridge.
Jeez.
Which killed both the pilot and the co-pilot. The plane apparently hit one of the cantilevers, but somehow did not kill or even harm any of the people driving on the bridge.
Wow, lucky.
Yeah, extremely lucky.
Lucky.
The bridge would end up being the site for many traffic jams and also fell victim to the ever-famous California earthquakes. In 1989, after a pretty notable earthquake, one of the trusses collapsed, and a motorist was passing through at the time that it was collapsing and was killed. Damn. The bridge was closed for more than a month for repairs.
Scary. I don't like bridges, guys. This is why I don't like bridges. Anything can happen while you're on that bridge. Bam, you're done. Body of water, drowned. Never again. Scary.
Scary.
Don't like it.
The hauntings are also pretty creepy. And I swear one of them is reminiscent of a Supernatural episode from a very earlier season, but I might be mistaken. So their stories have since been told by locals and I'm sure adored by tourists like us. There was one instance where a guy who was driving on the bridge, not like in a jam, he was driving, saw, quote, a headless man running beside the car at the same speed the car was moving.
Jesus.
Some speculate that what he actually saw was the ghost of the motorist who died when the bridge began to collapse during the earthquake. Because he was driving in his car. So just picture this guy who's driving, quote, in his car, but he doesn't have a car because cars don't have spirits or ghosts. And he's just sitting there going at the same speed as you. And I'm like,
nope.
Crazy. Other people say that when you're on the bridge in your car, in a traffic jam, or just have stopped on the bridge for any reason, you may hear knocking on your windows.
Oh boy.
Creepy.
That is so creepy.
Yeah, so you're just in a traffic jam, you're stopped, and you just hear knocking on your windows, and
you can't go anywhere.
There.
You can't go anywhere. You're stuck.
And there's nothing that's knocking on your window. Apparently, the spirit most people have seen, the ghostess with the mostess I came up with, is, quote, a ghost cop.
Huh.
Apparently there is, or used to be, is that a phone attached to one end of the bridge. So I'm guessing like a payphone. There was a payphone at some end of the bridge. And people have seen this cop without a cop car just standing there using the payphone.
Weird. Is the payphone still there?
I don't know. I'm interested to know.
Huh. Weird.
If it's true. I mean, I'm telling ghost stories, so these have been passed down.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
That's true.
I'm hoping, because it gives me all goosebumps, but...
Young kids listening to this one, the payphone.
I know, like, you had to pay to use a phone? And it was outside attached to stuff?
But, like, I have a cell phone.
Yeah, and I don't really have to, like, put quarters into it. No, so did you actually have to, like, pay for a plan to use the payphone? No, you had to put quarters into it. Yeah. Like a gumball machine?
Literally, yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd run out halfway through your phone conversation if it was a long one.
God forbid you're walking past a payphone and it starts ringing, though.
Oh, yeah, I've heard terrible stories about that.
Creepy.
That's how, like...
Especially if they don't work anymore. Well, and then it starts ringing.
There's a lot of those, like, stories of, like, serial killers calling in, and they've used, like, a payphone, and then it's just left, like, dangling, and someone picks it up, and it's like that. You just touched the phone that serial killer called in from, and it's like, gosh. There is an old one that I used to drive by on my way to work, and it's, like, super, like, 50s vintage looking, and it's so freaking cool.
I want a payphone for my house.
Yeah.
Like, just to have. Like,
even if it doesn't work, that's fine. Like, they're super cool looking.
I want, like, a booth and everything.
Heck yeah.
I'd go in there and I'd pretend.
And they used to have like the ones where you sit and it was like the whole like it was all comfortable and everything.
Well, they actually make phones now that are kind of like you can put your cell phone in it or something. It's something where you can use your cell phone, but it's actually attached to this traditional style corded phone.
Huh.
So I wonder if you could hang that up in there and still use it as like your actual phone booth.
Oh, probably.
A functional booth.
Oh, you probably could.
When I get another house and I have a big ass cool basement, that'll go down there.
Tons of things.
Yeah. So they've also we left off at the cop. Sorry for that tangent. We left off at the cop. They have also seen this cop on a motorcycle behind them as they are traveling.
Oh.
And when they go to pull over, he just and vanishes into thin air.
So is it like he's pulling them over? They see like the lights or something?
They did not emphasize. I don't know if they just assumed that. I don't know how police lights work on motorcycles because I've never seen one in person.
I'm not sure either.
So maybe they just assumed, oh, there's a cop on a motorcycle behind me. Maybe I should pull over. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know how they work.
I don't need all that.
No. Now, you know those times when you definitely see something out of the corner of your eye.
Oh yeah.
And you turn to look at it and there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Well, that's what some people say happens on the Bay Bridge. Apparently, in 1948, a man's car had broken down on or right, like, before the bridge, unsure which, and he and his vehicle were on the side of the road waiting for a tow truck. A car that was speeding down the road slammed into the man, killing him instantly.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And this is something that I feel like I remembered from Supernatural. This is the one ghost story that I remember for some reason. Because people say they have seen a man with a 40s style raincoat and hat out of the corner of their eye. And when you look right at him, he's just gone.
Just gone.
Mm-hmm. And that's while they're on the bridge.
Yeah.
Freaky.
So freaky. What a cool bridge.
Yes. The last bridge on the list today, the last bridge on the left, is the London Bridge.
Oh, yes.
But not the one that's currently in London.
Mm-mm.
For all those who don't know, because I didn't know either till Jenna told me a while ago, I'm going to be talking about the OG London Bridge, which was built in 1209 across the River Thames in England.
Sold.
The original first stone version of the London Bridge, I say first stone version because this bridge before 1209 was built wooden before, and then the first actual stone bridge was completed in 1209, and it was built by the Romans. Mm-hmm. My ancestry. Anyway, the river got the nickname the Black River of Death because there was ferries that would go beneath the bridge that just stacked piles of dead bodies because it was during the time of the Black Plague.
Wonderful.
They had nowhere else to put them. Obviously, this bridge, over all those years, went through different issues like fire and other damages. Mm-hmm. The lamp posts on the bridge, and I believe the ones that are still on the bridge, were actually made from scrap metal collected from the Battle of Waterloo with Napoleon.
Yeah.
So
it's freaking cool, man.
This bridge has tons of history.
Like, that just history gave me chills.
Yeah.
I'm just like that history nerd that's like, ooh, that's so old.
Mm-hmm.
And it's here. Like...
Well, I'll talk about another piece of history later when I get into the hauntedness, but that part of history is pretty cool for true crime junkies.
Okay.
In 1967, the bridge was dismantled and moved to Arizona. I do not know why, and I did not get into that part of the history. For some reason, Arizona must have bought the London Bridge.
Yeah, I think it was just literally like they were going to get rid of it or something.
And Arizona's like, I'll take it.
They're just like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we have nothing that old in our whole entire
country. Yeah.
I mean, unless it's Native American-wise, but
yeah, still.
the colonial...
Yeah.
I can't say that fucking word. The colonists...
Colonialists.
Started building something like this... I guess 1600s.
Yeah, 1600s.
But other than that,
Not 1209.
No.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool stuff.
Cool. Fun fact, this is the London Bridge from the nursery rhyme. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. And I'm not gonna keep doing that, even though I wanted to. Anyways, while
Don't come at us, we remixed it.
That's right. They moved it across the pond, and that's why the bridge was falling down. They were taking the bridge apart and moving it to Arizona. That's where that song came from.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Huh.
Unless that's false, too. Maybe it has a more sordid history, like, Ring Around the Rosie. But we'll just stick with this one.
Yeah. We'll stick with that one. It's nicer that way.
It is. Now, with this bridge being so damn old, and carrying so much history, it is haunted.
AF.
I didn't get a whole lot of stories, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that if you watch, I think one of the Ghost Hunters went there.
Ghost Adventures went there too, actually.
Oh, okay.
I did not
watch that episode.
Newer episode
that would be
they
why.
did, and I was confused. I was like, wait, it's called the London Bridge, but
they were not
in
in.
there. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I'm confused, and then that's when I delved because I was like, oh, okay. Oh gosh.
So people have said that they have seen a British couple walking on the bridge dressed in period clothing.
Okay.
How do they know they're British, you ask? Because in some cases the spirits were so clearly seen that some people even went up to them to ask them for directions.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how the spirits responded or if they responded, but woo, can you imagine going up to somebody you thought was a person and it wasn't?
Yeah, it'd be terrifying. That's a good apparition, though. I want to see that kind of apparition.
I know.
Where you don't even know.
I've seen one long
It's
ago
an
when I was a
apparition.
child and I didn't understand what I was seeing, but
yeah.
I definitely saw it. And it was freaky. I can just picture it like today. But the best ghost story of all that goes along with history that could possibly haunt the bridge dates back to 1888 in London with Jacques Le Ripper.
Yep.
Because we all know who that is. I'm not going to go into him in this episode, at least. Maybe it'll be a future episode. But Jack the Ripper was in London, obviously, during this time that original London Bridge was up and across the river.
Yeah.
And he terrorized a lot of women on that bridge. I'm not going to get into it now. Like I said, we're going to save it. We're going to save it.
Future episode, guys.
Yeah, we're going to save it. One man says that he snapped a picture by the stairs of the bridge and caught an image of a man who was not there before, who looked oddly familiar. Could that be Jack?
Maybe. Who knows?
Crazy. What did you hear in Ghost? Did you watch the episode?
I don't remember the episode.
'Cause it wasn't
completely
great.
honest. I don't know. I don't remember. That's just... I think I was more... A lot of times when I'm watching something and I learn something new, I end up on my phone.
Researching it. I know.
Researching it. So I think that was probably one of the things is half of their episode is the research and then the other half is the ghost hunting portion investigation.
Whatever.
And I think that probably during the whole part of everything, I probably listened to what they said about it, and then after that I did my own research. So I don't even remember.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch it.
Yeah. I can imagine that it has a lot of other scary stories that go along with it.
Oh yeah, with just how
that's
old it
fucking
is.
old.
Think
Yeah.
of the Napoleonic. That's
the
crazy.
scrap metal
itself.
from the battle. I mean, jeez.
Yeah, from a deadly, bloody battle.
Yeah.
It's gotta just have so much.
And then
energy.
the Romans built it in England, so it's jeez.
Did you see the pictures of what the old wooden bridge looked like?
I did.
That was super cool.
I
That
did.
was some
I
cool
should have
shit.
to. I should include it
It was some cool shit.
in the picture doc on the blog.
Super cool.
That picture of the Bay Bridge is so beautiful. Oh, it's a beautiful shot. The London Bridge is beautiful too.
Very, very regal.
So yes, that is today's haunted montage. The haunted montage. Hope you liked it. Check out the blog pics, like I said. I got all the bridges on there. If you feel compelled to visit each single one of them like I do, let us know if you take a trip. And take lots of pictures. And record stuff with your phone.
Yes.
Voice recorder.
Yes. I'm trying to look up real quick. So it says Ghost Adventures Season 19, Episode 13 is the London Bridge episode.
The London Bridge episode. Okay.
Yeah. So
maybe
if you
I'll go home and
want
watch that
to
too.
go watch it, they're probably all on the Discovery Plus now.
Oh yeah, true that. Never mind. We don't really we don't use a lot of their stuff in the episodes. It's hard to use it in there.
You can't be like, it's visual.
Yeah, you have to you're describing what they saw and what they heard, and that's weird. Instead
Yeah.
of just having like a story about it. So.
Exactly.
That's why we don't really include any of that stuff. We just take what we find from the interwebs.
And then tell you if you want to do it, you can do it.
Exactly.
So if you wanna, then there you go.
There you go. It is now on Discovery Plus because they betrayed their fans.
I don't know. I've read things that it said that it was Travel Channel forcing them.
That's why I said we
out.
should start a petition to keep them on there and make Travel Channel keep them. Anyway, you can find us on our YouTube and hit that subscribe button and
Do it.
share it with all your friends.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Right
We're tempted to make a TikTok to do some fun things on there.
Yeah, let us know.
We might share that to the YouTube so that we don't have to make 2 separate content because we ain't got time for all of that.
Yeah, for that.
But other than that, you can go on to the Facebook and follow us there at
More Than Murder.
You can go onto the Twitter and follow us there at
More Than _murder.
And follow us on the Insta at
More Than Murder Pod.
And if you have any stories you particularly want to hear or simply want to say hi or you have experiences that you want to share with us that you want us to share with the world, email them to us at the Gmail at morethanmurderpod@gmail.com.
Email at the Gmail.
Email us at the Gmail.
And if you have EVPs or spooky photos from any of the places that we've talked about, send them over too. We want to see. We want to see that stuff. We love that stuff.
Even if it's not anything we talked about yet, it could be a special thing we do on YouTube where we talk about your guys' stuff that you send in.
Yeah.
So send in your spooky stories. Send us your photos. Send us your EVPs. We'll slap that on the YouTube. We'll give you the credit for your stories.
And even maybe
Bibbidi-bam.
cover it here too. If you're sending us stuff, it'll help fuel an episode, and then we'll, credit you and source you right in there. And bam, there you go.
Wham bam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yep.
All right.
Anyways,
guys.
we'll see you next week.
For Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, we have a special 2-in-1
Oh yeah.
next week.
Two-parter.
Both bloody. For your bloody Valentine.
Woohoo! Love it.
I've been talking like this for the past 3 minutes. I can't stop. Okay, here we go. I'm back.
All right.
Anyways,
guys.
see you next week. Bye.
Bye.